woke up this morning feeling tired, more tired than normal. Most days I wake up and groggy and tired and what have you, but for the most part, I can shake it off. But today was more of a funk that I've been feeling, and it comes in and out. There's days that I feel it worse than others, and today it was pretty bad. Just couldn't shake it off. It's Saturday. Saturdays and Sundays, I like to do my run because I have less time restraints. Still a bunch of things to do, but nonetheless, I have more time to do things. And I almost wanted to take the day off and tell myself, you know what, it's an active rest day. I'll do some stretching. But being the fact that I was feeling so unmotivated in this funk that I can't shake off, I pushed myself and I said, you know what, go out there and just do what you can. So I chugged along and I did about a 18-minute run. Not very far, not very long, but I did. And usually when I do my runs, I kind of get more energy. I couldn't shake it off. I came back. I was unable. I was still feeling frustrated. And so I came in, my little robot was cleaning the floor, and I forgot to pick up the dog food and the dog water from the floor. And so as I'm walking back, getting water, I noticed that the robot is spilling water and food all over. No one's fault, but I became very agitated. At the same time, my son comes over to try to tell me something that he had a nosebleed at some point, and I am just so aggravated. And I said, I can't deal with that right now. I'm dealing with this. Almost chewed his head off. I composed myself and I picked up the dog food and I'm like, what is going on? Like, I was agitated with myself for being that agitated. Don't understand why. But I do know these emotional roller coaster rides and these bouts of exhaustion and just feeling in a funk is common. And it's more common now in midlife for me. So many of us experiences so many different hormonal changes, which brings on so many different types of emotions and just side effects, if you will. And that's one of the ones I'm experiencing the most and can't seem to shake it off. Not immediately, at least. It takes me some time to kind of gather myself up. And again, I pull myself aside and I know that these are normal parts of my life right now. And I guess that's why they might have called it a midlife crisis, because in that moment of frustration, of aggravation, I feel like I'm having a panic attack. I feel like I'm literally in a crisis mode, like fight or flight, right? But it's not really a crisis because the house is not burning down. I mean, my life is not in danger in that sense. So it is an emotional journey. And it's just a different chapter in our lives right now. And mine particularly is really trying to understand all of these different ebbs and flows and ups and downs and emotions that I'm having, because every day is a different story. And it seems like in the past few weeks or months, it's becoming more noticeable. As of a couple of years ago, it would come and go. But in the recent weeks, I can say that it is definitely becoming more of a norm. I'm really trying my best to keep ahead of it and know to pull myself back when I'm feeling that aggravated and just take a step back, take a breather, take a moment, and regroup. The stage in our lives brings so many levels and layers of emotions, changes, and nuances. Here I am in midlife. I'm close to 50. I have a 12-year-old son. I have an aging mom. I have an amazing job, I have an amazing career, I get to help out so many women, but yet I feel lost sometimes. And it's not that I don't have passion, because I do have passion, but I kind of feel stuck and I can't explain it. I know a lot of it has to do with hormones and changes, but a lot of it also has to do with the struggle of being in the sandwich generation of where do I put my efforts in? My mom needs me, and I do have siblings to help out with her a lot. Uh, my son, and then my career, and my partner, and then the house, and then the cooking, and then the cleaning, and then the dog walking. So, you know, I thought in my 20s and in my 30s that I was going to have a blast in my 40s and my 50s. I thought it was going to be easier. And while so many parts of my life is easier, there's layers of difficulties and layers of emotions. It's truly an emotional roller coaster ride. There's clarity in some things, but fogginess in others. That exhaustion and that lack of motivation. I know it's a transition in our lives in midlife, but it's still hard. And feeling undesirable and emotionally drained, uninspired, those are all experiences in one way or another we all feel. And then you talk about the society pressures, what we see on Instagram and on YouTube and on social media was presented to us. And then the hormones and our kids growing up, our parents needing us because we're living longer, contribute all to these emotional roller coaster ride that we're on. But I guess that's why I'm really here discussing it, because I have to think about it in my midst of emotions today. This is normal. It's normal experience. And it's something that I need to talk about more. And it's things that I need to make my family aware of more. And I did go back from this morning to my son and I apologized to him that I didn't need to chew off his ear. I explained to him that I was agitated with myself. He's 12. I don't need to share too much right now, but I'm still talking to him about normalizing what I'm going through right now. So, navigating this midlife is challenging and it's so confusing. And there's so much data out there. There's so many things that can potentially help us, but you've got to know where to start. And for me, these are the things that I know that I need to do on the forefront, and I need to remind myself uh, is really that self-care and compassion. So when I don't want to get dressed, and I knew I had to get dressed to go get my mom and to go grocery shopping and then to do other things, um, I had to force myself to get out, run, do my workout, and get dressed, do my hair, and put on some makeup because that makes me feel better. So once I started doing it, once I just got up, got dressed, and started the process, I felt better. And then once it was done, I felt even better because I feel that I took care of myself. And then being compassionate on the times that you don't want to, and even worse, when you get agitated for no reason. You have to really stop, take a moment, and give yourself some grace, because tough days happen and some days we're going to deal with it better than others. And even put aside being in midlife, we just always will have emotions, and sometimes we just handle it better. But now when we're in midlife and we're split in so many levels, the sandwich generation, and dealing with work and school and kids and parents, then we have to figure out a way to stop take a breath and understand why we're going through that, right? So I encourage to find some kind of outlet. For me, it's running, even though it's unmotivating sometimes right now. Some days are worse than others. But I know that once I do that, I feel better. Working out, Pilates, any form. I love working out in general. But again, these days, it's getting more difficult for me to convince myself to do it. I love to do it, but there's just this funk. Again, I can't explain the word, but I still do it. I force myself. So I encourage you, find something that you can do. And look, if you've never done anything, start small. Walk. Walking is the best thing. I love walking. You have to find something that's meditative, that gets your mind off of things, and also that form of release for stress. And then two, you got to set your own boundaries, right? You have to know when to protect your well-being and your mental and emotional well-being, whether it's scheduling time for yourself or scheduling time away from helping others. For me, definitely scheduling time for me is important, and I do a little bit of that every single day. Every day I can't do it all, but at least once a day, I do try to do one thing for myself. And then the next thing that I suggest is finding the small moments of joy. So, as I said earlier, I had to stop this morning and obviously take a deep breath, take a step back, and realize that I was agitating myself. And then after I apologized to my son, I was very grateful. I took that moment to find joy because my son was like, oh, I understand. Very compassionate and very sweet. But I found joy in that moment that I'm very blessed. And then that allowed me to see the beauty in what I have. So finding small moments of joy, just look around you and see what it is that brings you joy. And then reconnect with your own interests and your passions. For me, again, I love being able to help others. That really does bring me joy. And I do love dancing. That's a hobby of mine that I've always loved. And I recently started doing that again. It's outside of my work, outside of working out, and outside of anything else that I do. It's something that I get to do, free spirited. So find something that takes you out of your comfort zone, preferably, that you can connect with others, and something that you're passionate about, or try something new and you never know, it might become a new passion. Okay, so editing me. As I'm editing a couple of videos, I was editing this one and I was about to scrap it. But now in rewatching it today, which again, it's been a couple of days since I recorded it, I decided that, you know what, this is real life. I'm just going to come in here and edit myself in and finish my thoughts. I believe that when I hit my next point, which was giving gratitude, at that moment, I'm going to be really real and raw. At that moment, I just wasn't feeling grateful. I was feeling pretty upset that I couldn't get my thoughts together. I was pretty upset that my mouse clicks and you can hear it. I was pretty upset that I really want to put my thoughts together, but I'm not sounding natural, that I'm sounding robotic, and that I don't know what I'm talking about because I have to keep looking at my notes when I know what I want to talk about because I wrote my notes. So I was feeling all frustrated, but that's okay. That's part of my journey right now, and that's part of this. That's my reality. So I'm keeping it, and I'm just editing myself here in a different day, different outfit. I'm going to finish my thoughts. and I'm going to post this because I cannot be the only one possibly going through this. And although this video may not be watched by but a handful of people, maybe one person from the handful of people might relate. And if not because they're in midlife, maybe at one point they just know what it felt like to have a bad day. With that said, the next thought that I was going to speak of that I'm trying to bring forth during these challenges and these days that I'm having these mood swings, if you will, is practice gratitude and mindfulness. I'm big on that, and I've fallen behind. I've fallen off the wagon, taking time off in the morning or in the evening to just be mindful, disconnect, and be alone. And journal. I have my journal, and I have been really taken back as how I don't just want to do anything, which is another topic on my long list of videos that I want to create. I've been going through this undeniable situation where I just don't want to do anything. And it's not even about motivation, it's I don't want to journal. And I've been journaling for years. So in the past 2 weeks, I've challenged myself with taking a overall holistic view approach to my health and wellness, not only from a mental perspective, but from a working out perspective and an eating perspective and journaling and all of those things that I enjoy doing, that I have always enjoyed doing, is getting back on the bandwagon, getting back on it and just doing it, irregardless of I don't feel like it, because I'm not going to feel like it. I don't feel like doing a lot of things, but I still have to do it. I don't feel like getting up in the morning. I wish I could sleep until 8:30, but I can't. So I get up, right? So why can't I do the same with journaling and other things? So that's another video that I just, I think I'm editing that right now. I haven't posted it yet, but nonetheless, I've been working on getting back to this practicing gratitude in a more larger scale than I was, and even in the past. That really is committing myself to journaling every day and committing myself to taking time throughout the day to be quiet whenever I can fit it in. So right now I'm done work. It is my time, 5:43, and I wanted to work on editing, and this is what I'm doing. And then after this, I'm putting on my workout clothes and I'm going for a long run, and I'm going to take some time to be mindful and lower my thoughts, lower my emotions, and just be silent. So again, practice mindfulness and gratitude and mindfulness. That was my next thought process. So the purpose of this discussion and the purpose of what I've been thinking about lately is really embracing this new journey that I'm on and understanding what it is that I'm going through, allowing myself to give myself grace, but understanding that this is a transition in my life. This is part of my journey right now, and understand that while it's a new journey, it is not the end all be all. This is my journey to the next step. And I don't want to go down the road feeling this way and just feeling unmotivated and undesirable for the next 5 years. No, we're cutting that out. We're moving forward and we're creating a plan. Speaking for myself, not we, but me. I'm creating a plan and I'm creating a purpose. This next stage of my life is purposeful, is meaningful, and I'm going to go into it with joy. Yes, I'm going to have moments of frustration, and yes, I'm going to have moments of doubt perhaps, and yes, I'm going to be upset, but these are just moments. It's not going to define the next decade of my life. So I'm embracing this journey. I'm creating this platform. I'm creating these conversations to keep me accountable and to know that I'm not alone. Because even if I get one person who follows me and understands what I'm going through, I know I'm not alone. And I know I'm not alone in my community. I've spoken to many, many different women, and I know I'm not alone. But this is a reach for me to really redefine my purpose in this stage of my life and build a network. So that's my next reason for this, is to build a network. I can't stress the importance of surrounding yourself with like-minded people. I do that in my business, and I do that at work, my full-time work and my business on the side. Creating a network is so important to feel supported. Well, it's the same for your health and wellness, and it's the same in this stage. So while I'm doing it for networking and for purposes of my business and career, I also need to build a network and a community where I can be supported and I can support other women that are going through this stage in their life. And you may not be necessarily at midlife yet. You may be younger, but still be experiencing similar situations and frustrations, but you're not alone. And then, of course, I want to empower myself to make these changes. I want to empower you to make these changes. I'm going to get emotional. It's a reminder that we can all make change. I'm not stuck in this feeling. I'm not stuck here. This is not me crossing my hands and saying, well, I'm just going to eat to oblivion, and if I'm going to go through this, I'm going to go through this, and I'm going to eat whatever I want, and I'm not going to work out anymore, and I'm not going to connect with anybody, and I'm just going to sit in my little dark corner and woe is me. No, that's not me, and that's not going to be me, and I encourage you not to allow yourself to get to that point. You are a wonderful person. I am a wonderful person. I deserve to be happy. I deserve better. It starts with actionable steps. And it starts with you needing to push yourself to that point. It's not going to come easy. Like, again, I didn't want to do this. Not now. It's 5:48. I want to be able to shut down and go outside and just go for a walk or go for a run and just forget about things. But I can't, because it's still going to be there. It's still going to be there when I open my computer. It's still going to be there when I look in the mirror. It's still going to be there when I pull up my pants and I've noticed that my waist is thicker. I've got to take actionable steps, and I've got to empower myself to make these changes. So it's not only about mind, it's about health, the holistic wellness, and just finding outlets creatively and personal care. There's so much. There's just so much. I want to be able to explore and share how empowering it can feel to take control of even one aspect of your life, of even one aspect of my life. I want to empower you because I'm feeling empowered. I've got to do this step by step. And, if you want to come along with me, I would be obliged to have you come along with me. So to summarize the key points of this thought process that I had on this video is, number one, self-care, setting boundaries, finding joy, reconnect or connect with passion, with your passions, and practice gratitude. So I encourage you to reflect on your own journey. If you're going through midlife yourself or something else, what steps are you going to take? What steps of the key points that I mentioned resonated with you? Are you going through the same thing or something similar? Or do you know somebody that perhaps is going through something like this, and maybe you can be an encouraging friend to them? Thank you again for listening. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you, and I appreciate your time. You're not alone. I'm not alone. And every small step that we take forward in this new journey that we're on in midlife is a victory, big or small. So I'm signing off. Thanks again, and until next time.